Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to elaborate consumer rights introduced by the United Nations. There are 8 consumer rights altogether, and we are going to elaborate one at a time. Since the time of Kevin Emptor and Kevin Emptor, consumer rights, consumer safety, consumer protection, these kind of terminologies have become universally elaborated, universally stated. Because consumer has become the mogul of the market. If consumer doesn't exist, market doesn't exist, economy doesn't exist, industrialization doesn't exist, nothing exists if consumer does not exist. If consumers are given proper attention, safety, their rights, and are taken care of like blue-eyed baby, then the consumers are going to consume more. They will resort to conspicuous consumption. They're going to spend more money. They're going to go for prodigality, I should say, rather than frugality as far as the consumption is concerned. Conspicuous consumption means consumer must consume a lot more than what he desires to consume. He becomes not needy consumer but greedy consumer. More money he spends, more money he dumps in the market. Market actually becomes robust, and a robust market means robust industrialization, robust production, robust use of raw material, and robust economy. So economy totally 100% hinges upon consumers' purchasing habit, consumers' conspicuous consumption. If consumer is frugal, economy will turn frugal. If consumer is prodigal, economy will also turn prodigal. So United Nations organization has formulated these 8 consumer rights for the global consumers everywhere, hoping and wishing that the consumers are going to spend more money, and business class is going to provide 8 consumer rights to all the consumers honestly and faithfully. If our rights are reserved, and if our rights are protected, and if our rights are safeguarded, then and then we enjoy activity. So if the consumer's rights are protected, safeguarded, preserved, and respected, consumers are definitely going to take advantage of the global markets because their rights are preserved. And if the rights are violated, the consumers are going to stay light year away from the market. So these 8 rights are as below. Number 1, right to basic needs. Every consumer has a right to purchase basic need from any market, whether it's a local market or global market or global market. Consumers are not going to be denied from their rights of basic needs. Point number 2 is a right to safety. Every consumer has a right to safety. No product, whether it's an edible product or it's a pharma product, electronic product, or any kind of product, should not actually cause any kind of damage or any kind of harm or hurt or any kind of detriment to consumer. Every single product should be safe, sound, and very, very safe for every consumer. Consumer must not get any kind of detrimental response or detrimental things from any kind of product. Point number 3 is right to choice. Consumer must have a right to choice. Consumer can choose anything the consumer desires and the consumer is willing to buy. He has a right to choice. Nobody, neither the merchants nor the market nor government should force him, compel him, any which way, coerce him for buying the thing of their choice, but the choice is 1000% actually the favor of the consumers. It's a consumer's choice. Right to redress. If accidentally, unwittingly, without any kind of intention of the merchant or manufacturer, some product has caused any kind of damage or any kind of hurt to the consumer, like for example car, and the car's brake was little poor, little fragile, little out of the order, and the car driver or car owner was injured because of that little unwitting mistake by the manufacturer. Then manufacturer must pay redress, return compensation to the motorist who is involved in any kind of major or minor accident and suffered any kind of physical damage, property damage, or any which way. That's called right to redress. Next is right to information. Every customer, every consumer in the global market or local market has a right to information. All kinds of information about the product should be disclosed. It should be revealed to the consumer before consumer buys it. No information should be concealed. No information should be hidden. If there is any kind of defect in the product, then this must be written on the back of the product's brand. Whatever the label says, it must be there, and whatever is there in the product label must speak explicitly about this. Nothing should be hidden, nothing should be concealed, nothing should be papered over from the consumer. This is called right of information. Right to consumer education. Consumers should be educated properly about all the product. Let's say, for example, you are buying a mobile and you don't know how to operate it. Then mobile seller, the seller of the mobile must actually provide all kinds of nitty-gritty information, education about the mobile. Or if you are buying some kind of, say, stove, gas stove or electric stove, but you are the first time consumer and you probably don't have any kind of knowledge about how to operate it, what kind of safety measures you are supposed to adopt. If you don't know anything like that, it's a seller's responsibility under the consumer protection law that he must explain you every single thing. He must educate you every single thing about every single thing. Positive thing as well as negative things, so you know how to operate it properly and avoid all kinds of mishaps. Point number 7, right to healthy environment. No businessman, no industrialist, no manufacturer has any kind of right to kind of destroy the environment or dirty the environment or pollute the environment, because people have to live in that kind of environment. And it is consumers' right to have absolutely healthy environment. So those people who are violating this right by polluting environment are actually doing illegal thing, and they are accountable for their action under the law. Point number 8, right to representation. Whatever the customer wants to buy, this product must be properly, correctly, honestly represented. No any kind of misleading or misrepresentation of the product to cheat customer or swindle customer or consumers or taking consumers for a ride. No hiding of anything, no concealing for anything. Whatever the weakness, whatever the fragility, whatever the defect your product has, it must be totally, fully, faithfully, and honestly represented, meaning introduction of your product by advertisement, by any which way, whatever the mode, you actually send the information or any kind of data about your product to the consumer. That must also absolutely positively be totally honest representation of your product. Don't try to cheat, don't try to mislead any consumer to buy your product under the wrong representation, under the wrong impression. So these are the 8 consumer rights propounded by United Nations Organization. So that's all the time we have today. Thank you very much for listening. Again, we're going to see you next time. Until then, God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.